Hello and welcome. I want to shine a big old bright light on something for you today. I've got a question for you, but before you answer that question, I would actually suggest that you don't answer the question right away. It's quite a deep question. It may not sound that way at the beginning, but you actually sitting with this question could actually unlock something that may be blocking you. And the reason why I say this is because I personally believe this is blocking most people. And it's because something has been conditioned into us. And the thing with conditioning is that it's really sneaky because you hear it enough times, you don't question it anymore. This is the problem with conditioning, is like we hear it everywhere we go because we're all conditioned a certain way and we don't even see the pattern anymore. So this is why I want to shine a big old bright light on this. So if you find yourself, you've been doing this, and likely you have, because most people have, including myself, and I still do it at times. I still catch myself. The conditioning is deep on this. But once you see it, you can start to unravel it, because the truth is that for people, all of us on the planet right now, the one thing that's stopping us from moving ahead in our lives is ourselves. It's for you and it's for me. It's for all of us. We are the ones now stopping us because there is a level of consciousness that we are able to access now that we didn't used to be able to, energies, and also just the possibilities out there, right? Just the way the world is right now. So let's not do that. Let's not stop ourselves. None of us. Okay. So without further ado, the question is there a part of you somewhere deep inside of you that believes that one day it will all be worth it, or that there is some prize that's coming to you down the line somewhere? If you sacrifice long enough, if you suppress your power long enough, if you shrink who you really are long enough, if you don't ask for what you are, for what you want long enough, if you take more responsibility for others than you really want, if you sacrifice your health and well-being and your mental everything, is there somewhere in you that believes that if you do that long enough, there is a prize at the end? That's actually conditioned into us. And I'm going to tell you exactly how it is. I'm going to give you a couple of really solid examples. So before I give you the solid examples of where it's conditioned into us, understand that that goes against energetic principles, quantum mechanics. It goes against it. You cannot sacrifice, because sacrifice and give up, all those things are low vibrations. You cannot live in those low vibrations and repress your power and all those things, and all of a sudden hope that by doing this long enough, you're going to flip into a higher frequency of joy and abundance and fulfillment. It doesn't work that way. The longer you stay in here, the longer you stay in here. Like, it's a choice. The only way to move into abundance, fulfillment, meaning, success, all the things that you want, is to flip out of the lower frequency. You can't stay in here hoping that it's going to lead you here. It doesn't work. It does not work. But I'm going to tell you how and where it's conditioned into us so you can see it. I love to explain things from a bunch of different ways because our logical mind sometimes needs the different angles, right? So the corporate system, what did that teach everybody? You get a job, you work hard, you sacrifice, you climb the corporate ladder, you play the political game, you give up what you really want, you give up the best years of your life, you give up the best days of your life, you give up the best hours of your life, you sacrifice and you do all these things. And guess what? When you're 65, you get to retire. Yay! It's a bunch of bullshit. It really is. It's a bunch of bullshit. When you get to retirement, you're exhausted, you're worn out, you're all these things, right? And it may have worked 50 years ago when things were simpler back then, and they were just like, the inflation wasn't and the cost of living what it wasn't, all these things, right? But the world is not like it was 50 years ago, 60 years ago, 70 years ago. And even back then it didn't work so well. But look at that pattern. That says if you do this long enough, if you repress yourself long enough, it's going to be worth it. Somewhere down the line, it's going to be worth it. It's not true. Now, what is another way? organized religion. And, I am not an expert on organized religion, so I know there's nuance. I'm not going to say it's all religion, okay? But I was raised in the Catholic Church. I know what it sells. I know what it sells. Be a good person, follow all these rules, and if you do that, you'll make it to heaven. That's the program. There's a prize. That's the prize. The prize is you do all the right things and, you follow all the rules and you will make it into heaven. That's a prize. And I'm sure other religions do that too. That's just the one that I'm most familiar with. I felt awful. Like it took me a lot of time to deprogram myself and really deal with everything I learned in Catholicism. And I probably am still doing it. But there is this, it's really indoctrination that yeah, if you're good enough long enough and you do what you're told long enough and you sacrifice long enough, it's going to be worth it because you're going to go into heaven. There's a prize at the end somewhere if you suppress yourself. Now, I'm also going to bring up another example because this is also worse for women. Women are really taught to sacrifice, to give up who you are and what you really want in relationships in particular, right? We are so taught that from a young age. Give up yourself long enough, give, and eventually it's going to be worth it. Well, the gig is up on that one as well. 70 to 80%, I forget if it's 70 or 80, but somewhere in there, of all divorces are legally initiated by women. 70 to 80%. And you don't have to look far to understand why. It's this constant giving, constant doing, constant self-sacrificing, thinking there's a prize at the end somewhere, thinking it's somehow going to come back, thinking it's somehow going to be worth it. And so many women get to their 50s and they go, oh my God, it's not. It's not coming back. I'm empty. I'm hollow on the inside. I feel like I've not been living. I mean, I realized this in my early 30s when I was married. I saw the trajectory. Mia was giving. And I went, there's no prize here. Why am I doing this? I might as well be on my own. And I went out on my own. And I mean, this can happen to men too. I'm not saying this is just women. But, a lot of this is also just patriarchy 101. Patriarchy 101 really is, you're going to work really hard, you're going to sacrifice, and you're going to be happy with mediocrity. That's what patriarchy sells. That's me being kind. I actually think patriarchy sells survival mode. But this is what we've been taught. It's like we're supposed to give up for so long, and eventually there is going to be some prize. Now, I want to flip this right on its head for you, okay? I hope by now you've seen it. I think I've given enough examples. I don't want to keep going down them because honestly, they're kind of depressing. They're depressing. When you see it, it's like, oh my God. But I want to flip this for you. If you see anywhere in here, feel like the little hints like, oh my God, I've been doing this. The way we flip it around is one of the ways you can do it is actually see yourself as the prize. There's not a prize down at the end, but how about seeing yourself as the prize? That changes everything. That brings you back into the present moment. That brings you into, what do I really want right now? What do I really desire? Who am I? Why don't I start expressing myself? Why don't I start being myself? Why don't I unleash all this power that's been within me? Take off the masks that I'm pretending to be. Because that is the only way to get out of that loop of the prize down the line. You have to live for the moment. Okay, we have to start living more in the moment. You have to choose you in the moment. That means having the conversations that you need to have with the people you need to have. This means making the choices that you need to make. This means showing up for yourself. Showing up, going, what is going to serve me today? What is going to serve me today? Not what's going to serve everybody else, what's not going to make everybody else happy and comfortable. Because guess what? When you spend all your time and energy making everybody else happy and comfortable, all that happens is they're happy and comfortable, but not you. So start looking at yourself as the prize. Like, it's amazing that, gosh, this is coming through. It's like there is this divinity within you. There is this precious soul that came into this earthly experience. And it's time now to let her or him breathe. It's time to let her or him experience life that you are meant to live in this lifetime, not somewhere down the road, not where somewhere down the line, not for somebody else, but for you. Start living for you, because there is no prize at the end for giving up who you are and what you want. There is none. It will never be worth it. And I know if you're still listening to this and you've been listening to my content, you're ready. You're ready to reclaim your power. And this is why I keep going on about reclaiming your power, because this is what this is. The systems that we have in place taught you to give away all your power. It taught you to give away all your power, all your joy, all your fulfillment, all your everything for a future possibility. And we called it being smart. We called it planning. We called it having your life together. We gave it all these beautiful phrases. That's what sold it. But the gig is up. It doesn't work. All it does is it sacrifices your current well-being and your current joy for a future that never actually happens. So why don't you start choosing you now? Why don't you start choosing you in every now moment? Because that's when you're going to create a beautiful future. You don't create a beautiful future by giving up who you are and suppressing your power. You create a beautiful future by being the best you right now. This is quantum mechanics, right? Everything you're doing now is creating your future reality. If you sacrifice now, you're going to create a future reality where you have to keep sacrificing. If you start choosing you and leaning towards joy, leaning towards your power, really leaning into your alignment, choosing what works for you, you are going to continue to have a life where you are in your power and things line up with you more and more and more. So I just ask, just to end this, and I didn't realize it was all we're going to go in those directions, but really think about that question about, like, where in you is there the belief that there is a prize? Because I can pretty much guarantee you it. There is somewhere in you that believes there will be a prize down the line if you give up yourself long enough. And there isn't. So liberate yourself. Liberate yourself. All right, beautiful soul. I will see you in the next video. Take care.